Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our third episode of Whiskey and Sticks After Dark. I am the host with the most, Levi Sims. I'm here with my brother Kendrick Wooden, aka Woo, from the Wooisms podcast. We're here really with two-thirds of the Wooism. Shout out to my man Jay, brother Hess, the pastoral view.
Oh yeah,
He
he
had to
actually
do his
had.
pastoral thing tonight. But hey, nevertheless, we are not here by ourselves. But I just want to say, hey, we are not coming from our normal spot of El Jefe House of Cigars and Preacher. We are coming from another location this evening because we have a very, very special guest, Ms. Barbara Drummond, running for mayor of Mobile, Alabama. And I'm telling you, we're glad to have you here with us tonight. Now, we're going to hit her with a few questions, but we're going to more so let her talk to you about the benefit of her running, the benefit of you voting, and we're going to also ask a couple more questions. So, welcome, my brother. Hey,
What's up, big brother?
man, it's
I'm
been a
good.
minute.
Yes,
It's
sir.
been like 3 weeks.
Man, it's been
Too
it's been
long.
yeah, yeah, far too long,
But
far
we
too
have a
long.
magnificent guest
But we
with us.
coming back on fire.
We coming on fire, on fire.
Yeah,
So,
man.
with that being said, I would like to introduce to you some and present to others Ms. Barbara Drummond, formerly state representative, 103rd District of Alabama, and now running for mayoral candidate. Ms. Barbara Drummond, how you doing today, Ms. Barbara?
I am fine. And just a little bit of a correction. I'm not former. I'm still a
Well,
legislator.
that's
That's
what. Get me
right.
right
That's
then. Get me
right. So
right.
thank you all for having me. I am so excited to be here.
We're excited to
Yes,
have you.
ma'am.
We
Thank
really
you
are.
for
Matter of
coming.
fact, we were excited to even come up with this idea because the thing about it, we have been watching the debates, we have been watching the forums, and that's why we got you here. We got you casual conversation because a lot of politicians, when you go to see them, you go to QA them, everybody has on their suits and everything is stuffy and everything is political correct and
Yes.
but we want the people to see you relaxed and state your claim on why you're running for mayor for one, the benefits of you running for mayor, and what you've learned over your years. So if we can, we'll start with why are you feel like you're the best candidate for mayor for City of Mobile?
But before we get to that,
Uh-oh.
since a lot of people may not know who Barbara Drummond is, can we get to know who is Barbara Drummond?
Well, there you go. If you will. Talk
Well,
to our people, tell her who you are.
it's real simple. Barbara Drummond is a native of Mobile. I was sitting here a moment ago and I started my day in Crawford Park because that's where it all started for me. I was raised here and on Texas Hill. You know where Texas Hill is? It's the greatest place in Mobile.
I know where Orange Grove is.
Well, Texas Hill is a good place. I mean, it's a place that, when I grew up there, it was a time that molded me into being an honest individual, and it taught me how to be a public servant, even when it wasn't popular and there was no social media. I have one daughter, and she tells this story about my mom was doing stuff for this community even when no one knew it, and she didn't require a pat on the back. And that's what being a public servant. I came from a household, a Baptist mom and a deacon dad, and they taught us at Delaware Street Missionary Baptist Church, where I am a Sunday school teacher, and I was raised that you are to be honest and you are to give back to others. It was a time when a village, you all remember a village,
Yeah,
don't
I
you?
Yes,
remember
ma'am.
Village.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I'm old enough to remember the Village.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so that is who I am. I've been in the legislature now. I'm in my third term. And everybody thinks that I've been in politics all my life. That's not true. I've worked at county government. I was their very first public affairs director. And when then Mayor Sam Jones became the first African American mayor, he recruited me over to the city.
Okay.
And I became one of his executive directors. And I was there. I actually had a staff, huge staff. I was overseeing probably 4 or 5 departments.
Hmm.
Wow.
And so I saw and I know the next level that Mobile needs to go. Nobody has to tell me on day one what levels to pull and what doors to open. All of my experience in the legislature, I've been an elected official, as I said a moment ago, for a while. And I now realize, and I tell people this because I mean it from the bottom of my heart. When I got to Montgomery and I had all this experience in county government and city government, and when I went to the state house, one of the things that I saw that was painfully obvious to me, and it's still going on today, that everybody has gotten so entrenched in parties that they've forgotten about people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the things that I have vowed that I will not do. I will always keep people, especially those who have elected you, at the forefront. And I truly believe that that's what is happening with our country. Um, as I was sharing with you all earlier, I had one of my young volunteers ask me why was I stepping down from Montgomery to run for mayor. And that answer is simple. I want to step down so that my city can step up.
Oh, I like that. I
Right,
like
right.
that one now, Miss Barbara.
Because
Yes, ma'am.
this way we can continue the progress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to bash anybody else because the mayor's office is a torch.
Yeah.
It's passed to the next person. And, I look at like Arthur Outlaw built the convention center. Mike Dow came along with the string of pearls. He handed it off to Sam Jones, who landed Airbus, Austell, ThyssenKrupp, and created a financial sound footing for the city. And then he handed it off to Stimson, and I think he's done a good job. But I truly believe it's now time to hand it off to one who has not only the experience and the ability, but also is a female. It's time. This is our moment, Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
This is our moment.
Speaking of our moment, and speaking of our time, be it that you are a politician and be it that you are running for mayor, all of this require votes. So if you can, we on our platforms, because we both have platforms, and we try to stress to our peers the importance of voting. Could you please express how important voting is when it comes to state and local government elections like this?
Well, it is really, it's no longer that all politics is local. It's all politics is personal.
Mm.
If you look at what is happening on the national level, talk about the big beautiful bill. That big beautiful bill has cuts and SNAP. You all know what SNAP is.
Yes,
That's
Yes,
ma'am.
food
ma'am. Oh
stamps.
yeah.
That's a local issue as
Yeah.
far
Yes.
as I'm concerned. And I tell this story here because it's a true story. I had a young man at the state level who called me up and said, Representative Drummond, I can't find or I can't afford any insurance. He was not unemployed, guys. He worked in maintenance department. His wife worked at McDonald's. They could not afford health insurance for themselves. They only had the All Kids program for the children. So all of the stuff that's happening on the federal level, it's like a hill. It's going to run down to the local level. So that is why we need to vote. Because if you don't vote, your food stamps, your health care, and the one that is more tragic to me than anything is your children's
Education.
education.
Oh yeah.
I'm an education buff. And to see what may happen to education, guys, that bothers me to no end. So it's not about the blood of those who voted before us. It's about your livelihood going forward. Because if you don't vote, those are things that are going to affect you. You better vote for your own interests. This is all about your future and the future of your kids.
So we're on the subject of voting, and I hate to bring it up, but we have to bring it up as far as race is concerned. You are the only African American in the race right now. Two female, two males. Prime, he's a graduate of Viger, so he's connected to that African American community. Sparrow, he's been out at different other African American events in the community. How do you feel as being the only African American and the female in the race, not just trying to touch the African American community, but also the other communities as well, to try to pull them in and have them to understand what your message is for coming into the mayoral.
Well, let me just say this. Mobile is actually an African American city. You all know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
population is here. But the mayor will represent everybody.
Hmm.
And when I look at folks like all the analogies that you just gave me, I gave you all my pedigree. I graduated from Murphy. I went to Williamson High School. So, nobody can be deeper than I can be.
Right.
But I'm a person who has always worked across the aisle. I work with everybody.
Hmm.
If I feel it's the right thing to do, don't label me because I'm a woman. Don't label me because I'm black. You look at my qualifications, and that is what makes me different than everybody else in this race. I'll put my qualifications up against them anytime. When you look at Mobile right now, guys, when they talk about homeless, homeless issues,
Yes.
nobody on that stage. I was on McKimmey Place board of director, the new McKimmey Place, the homeless shelter for women.
Hmm.
Barbara raised money for that. It was at a time when nobody patted me on the back. I did it because it was the right thing to do. Nobody on that stage, I don't care how they tell you, I can give you the date that Airbus was landed,
Hmm.
which was in 2012, because I was one of the staff people working for Sam Jones. There was a whole lot of partnerships. And I love the partnerships that we have amassed in this city, but it meant that you had to have one person leading, and it was the mayor.
Hmm.
So somebody in his staff, several of us, had to work to put all that together. Nobody's going to have that kind of experience.
Hmm.
This is not about being the blackest or you coming from Viger High School or you doing this. Who has the ability to work across the aisle? Guys, I'm in a super minority position in Montgomery. There are 105 of us. I have to work with 104. If you look at my record, I work across the aisle. That's my DNA. Somebody asked me, can you get along with the city council? I got along with 104. Don't you think I ought to be able to handle 7?
Right.
But again, my desire for what I am doing the job now. But one thing I got tired of, guys, I'd come from Montgomery and the communities like you just outlined, they were getting more blighted.
Hmm.
My folks were going to jail more.
Hmm.
My schools were failing. And no matter how much I was in Montgomery, I got this session $11.7 million more dollars for the Mobile County Public School System. But my schools are failing in my district.
Hmm.
I'm tired of that.
Right.
The knowledge I have and the experience I have and the ability to work with everybody is going to take this city to the next level.
So my next question to you, you say some good things, and I'm listening because you talk about the youth, you talk about the community, you mentioned something about homeless, but I want to take it a step further. I am a mentor with the Omega Lamplighters. I'm very uh, versed in the community as far as community service, and I am an Army veteran, so I have a soft place for veterans and homeless. Um, what can be done about the homeless issue that we have in the community, as well as what can we to do more for our kids? Because you did mention about the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club. I'm a product of the Boys and Girls Club, Leslie Busby in Orange Grove, which is there no more. JRT that was on the Avenue is not there anymore. Even off of in Maysville, it's not there anymore. So what can we do about the veteran homeless issue, as well as the issue with our kids and not having anything to do in the community these days?
Okay, let me start with the veterans. I have a brother, he is 73 years old, and he's a vet. Called me up one day and said, Sis, I need help. Didn't know my brother was homeless.
Mm.
Didn't know my brother was not getting the benefits. He's the big brother.
Hmm.
So I started down the track of trying to help him. And guys, I have gone to a total of 6 different places for him. The resource center, the center out in Tillman's Corner. Somebody even told me the other night, maybe y'all need to go to Pensacola. You can get him help faster. We're on the track of getting health care. But one thing that was painfully obvious to me is that we need a unified system for veterans.
Yes.
Our system, it is too fragmented. If they don't have transportation, if they don't have health care, all of these things are spread out. That's why a lot of these guys are not getting the help that they need. And the most important thing that I think that we need to enhance is mental health.
Yes.
Most of these guys have mental disabilities that have not been diagnosed from the time that they were in the military until now. So one thing I think I'd like to see in our community is a unified system, not only for homeless veterans, but also for the homeless community, period. Because the same issues that they're facing, vets are facing. Um, I have gone and looked at the homeless community, went down to Hope the last week, and that it's a good start. Years ago, I was on, it was called Housing First at that time. I was on their board, and we were starting to work under Mike Dow's administration on a unified system for the homeless community where we could have health care, housing, workforce development, mental health, everything in one location so that they would not have to travel around the city trying to look for those services. I'm going to continue that work. So I think that is our answer. And you had third part of your question was young people, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to create healthy, safe places for young people. If we don't put anything into our young people, we don't get anything out. And by healthy places, I was talking to you a moment ago, I want to invest in the Boys and Girls Club. That's a proven agency that works. I want more YMCAs. I sent myself out of my state dollars for the second year, I sent 50 kids to summer camp at Dearborn YMCA. And I can't tell you how gratifying it was to get these comments from the parents who didn't know what they would do with their kids because I lost 2 Boys and Girls Club in my district. I lost Gilliard and I lost R.V. Taylor. And that's what made me send these kids. So we've got to do those. We've got to create those kinds of opportunities. And then I want to create some recreational opportunities. If you've ever gone to a city like Savannah, in that community, I feel like we've got to do a lifestyle change here in Mobile so that young people will want to stay in Mobile, won't move away. They'll know that all of the opportunities are here. But in that community, parks were the hub of the community. Parks, I mean, I've gone to places, and in one part of the park, they were playing pickleball. The other part, they were having a concert. It was the place that drew everybody in that community. Those are the kinds of communities that we've got to build. And when you look at the community, you live there, there was shopping there was restaurants there, and there were things for young people to do. That's the kind of city. We've done a good job in recruiting Airbuses and Austal, and I applaud that and will continue that. But we need now to incentivize us. It's time that we build up our neighborhoods. There's far too much blight in Mobile.
Far too much.
When we talk about affordable housing, I sit back and say, we don't have a housing shortage. Why can't we incentivize some small person out there who wants to go into the business and they have a skill set to go into those communities and rehab those houses? And we can create housing for our community. So all of those are things that my administration will do, and it will be paramount to us. Because first, guys, I lived this. I came out of a marginalized community. And I just think that we've got to incentivize us. If we want a future, one of the first things that I want to do is create a standalone department at the city of Mobile for our youth called Youth Engagement. We'll come up with a better name, but that department will be everything youth so that youth will have a voice in government. I'm not talking about just an advisory committee that we talk to them when there's a crime. I'm talking about we have somebody constantly working on those issues that can help our young people, that can help get summer internships, summer jobs, All of those things need to be, we need to make those things a priority so that when our kids come here and they grow up here, they say, this is where I want to be. Mobile is the opportunity. We want to make them come back so they can come raise their families.
Mhm.
So those, I get real sentimental and passionate about it because this is a place I love. You know, we got all the amenities, but it's now time for us to look back and say, okay, it is time for us to build better neighborhoods for us.
Speaking of building, we have a new downtown civic center being built. Army Corps of Engineers, I believe, is the building that just got built, and I see the pilings are being driven for the new bridge. Also, um, the former project areas in the Maysville community that Airbus is buying up or other entities are buying up to modernize, gentrify, however you want to put it. Do you feel or have you thought about uh, once becoming mayor that to incentivize or to be an addition to the businesses that are coming in, that they donate as well to community programs for kids? Because I don't think nobody ever thought about that. But I'm not saying that you have.
You know, has anybody ever asked? I am certainly a proponent that businesses need to give back to the community and they need to live in our community. You know, I have sat down with the entire development community. And one of the things that I heard from a developer that just floored me, he said, I don't want to come here and do any work because bureaucracy was so much. But when you look at areas like Maysville, because those are the areas, and I do think they've been gentrified.
Mhm.
But you know, come along with progress, you need some. I think that we need to make sure all of the we can make industry and communities work together.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
getting at.
that is what I'm going to be aimed at. That we need to have both of them working together. So.
I see. That was one of my concerns because I'm like all of this, all of it new over the years. These residents have been given notice. These residents have been moved out. Some as far as West Mobile, some in Sims, some are being they're building new apartments in different places. And but when you replace that, the people that are moving in, the new people that are coming here, and some old people that may even move in that area, it's best to have recreation, which you touched on, because I'm from Moss Point.
But
Moss
Levi,
Point doesn't have no recreation.
Well, Levi, one of the things that I want to do as mayor, and I even talked about this current administration, we need a master plan to reseed housing back in our community.
Mhm.
There is no we're doing hodgepodge. We put an apartment complex over here. We put one on the old main site. You'll see one that is going out on Sage. But I want a
Hmm.
master plan to reseed housing back into our community. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Well, we
Because those are communities that have historic identities. And that's one thing I want to look at is for Mobile to make its history work for itself. We have 7 flags that have flown over Mobile. And we've got so much great history. And when you look at the community that you just talked about, Maysville, y'all, some great people came out of Maysville. When you look at the community, one that's near and dear in my heart is Africa Town. I get
hmm
excited about Africa Town. There's no reason we don't have a master plan right now to make Africa Town a historic area that has an international reputation.
Right.
That is what we need there. And when you look at Davis Avenue was a mecca of business in the African American community. We need to reseed not only businesses but housing. Again, that's part of that lifestyle change of making history work and making sure that our neighborhoods are healthy. All of this can be intertwined so that people will have a healthy idea of what Mobile is. Mobile has a lot of amenities. We have just not incentivized ourselves. That's what we've done everything to draw business in and we see what now. I think we're on the right track. Right now, we drew so many businesses in, guys. We don't have enough people to do the work.
I believe that. And also, I sit and I look, and maybe you can elaborate on this, that we spoke off camera about people and positions, and like yourself, you overqualified, but makes you qualified. At the same time, you don't covet your what's the right word? You don't covet the things that you've done as your own because you give back. But what about people in positions or people that seek positions and once they build something, they covet it like it's their own instead of putting back into the community. They like more or less put in their pocket or put in a friend's pocket or stuff like that. How do you feel about stuff like that?
Well, I think it's all incumbent upon all of us to give back and to pull somebody behind us. It's time that we start incentivizing the next generation. That's why I'm running. Guys, I'll be very honest with you. When I decided to do this, it was not anything about status for me because I'm in Montgomery. If you go talk to my colleagues in Montgomery, many of them tell you they don't want me to leave because I've worked so well with them. I have a base there. I could have easily just sat there for how many more years I've got and just sit there and do what I do because I was comfortable. I was really comfortable. But I see that it's time for us to make Mobile what we know it can be. Mobile's got a good future. I'm not one of these folks that paint darkness. I don't. Is crime a problem here? Yes, it is. But we can handle it with all of this. Crime is not just about locking them up, throwing away the key.
Hmm.
Crime is more than that. It tells us that we have a community that has so many economic opportunities. Everybody's not getting a piece of it. There's so much prosperity when we have the port that is going to be deepened. When that port is finished, we're going to supersede Houston. Do you know how many opportunities are going to be coming across?
Yeah,
See,
hundreds.
yeah, I was one of those that was in Montgomery. When I got there, I went to the governor and I said, Governor, I looked at the state's budget and I didn't see a whole lot of businesses in South Alabama getting business from the state. She said, How do you know that? And she was right. I didn't know that because they didn't have a directory
Mm.
showing me. So what I did was went and passed a new I changed the whole procurement process for the city, I mean for the state of Alabama. I changed that process and they created a directory. Now when you go get a business license, you have to say all of this information and the Department of Labor and the Secretary of State's all of them are archiving that information now so that I'll have something to go and see. I started an initiative here in Mobile where I said, I want everybody in Mobile who has a business to know how to do business with the state of Alabama. Do you know I brought all those folks from Montgomery? The procurement officer, if you had a department or a role, they came into Mobile and we partnered with the chamber and did how to do business with the state. Knowledge is powerful. It is time for us to take it to the next level.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard firsthand from our still state representative, but current mayoral candidate, Ms. Barbara Drummond. Listen, we appreciate y'all for coming. If you will, Ms. Drummond, would you please let the people know, hey, when the election is, what your expectations are day one if you're elected, and how can they follow you and how can they support you the rest of the way?
Well, the election is on this Tuesday, August the 26th, and it is so important for everybody to come out. And when you go to the poll, I want you to do this on Monday. First, I want you to sit down and 10 people. I want you to call them. I want you to text them. I want you to hit them up on Facebook, Instagram, whatever your mode of communication is. And you tell them before they go to vote that they go on alabamavotes.gov, check their status, and check where they've got to vote. Because there are a lot of voting places. There are 37, and a lot of them have changed. It may not be the place that you're accustomed to going. So check before you go and know when before you go. Now, I want you to come and follow me. Go to Barbara Drummond for Mayor and you will see all of what my platform is and you'll know where I am. And then I'm inviting all of you to come with me. I will be at Calorage on election night. And a lot of folks are saying we're going to be in a runoff. But see, I'm one of those Baptist girls. You know a Baptist girl. When they have that faith, I got that faith of a mustard seed.
Oh, watch out
Mustard
now.
seed.
I think we gonna win this. So come and celebrate with us because on August the 27th, it's gonna be a seismic shake in Alabama, and the name is going to be Barbara Drummond for mayor. Thank you.
Once again, you just heard it from the lady herself, Miss Barbara Drummond, mayoral candidate for the city of Mobile. Once again, we say thank you for coming.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you
Thank
taking
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
time
Thank
out
you
your busy
so
schedule.
much.
Also, don't forget to continue to follow, like, and share. Uh, Whiskey and Sticks After Dark. Got the Wooisms crew here with us, minus my brother Rick Hess, 2/3 here. I am the host with the most, Levi Sims. We're saying thank you for tuning in. Remember, share, like, subscribe. Share, like, subscribe. Make sure you share this, though, because this will be shared all weekend long. And until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.
Thank you.